So in this video, I wanted to take a quick look at the Schmidt Capless Rollerball pen in stainless steel. If you're following this channel closely, you've probably seen that I've talked a lot about Schmidt ink refills, because I really like them. Turns out Schmidt is actually a company that makes a bunch of pen solutions. So they make refills and they make fountain pen nibs and fountain pen sections and clicker or knock mechanisms. And they also sell a few pens. I don't think that's because they want to get into the pen business, but these are sort of like technology demos. If you want to use Smith components, then you buy one of their demo pens like this, and you say, hey, my pen could look like this. They probably white label these as well, but I haven't seen them for sale. This pen, full caveat, is it's expensive. I bought this thing because I was so excited about Schmidt, but it was $32 for stainless steel version, and the aluminum version was something like I think about 26. Aluminum tends to be cheaper to make than steel parts. So I bought it off Amazon, cost me 30 some odd dollars, which is not cheap. And the packaging, it smells like it's, white label ready or just a technology demo. It's just a standard cardboard box that anyone could buy off the internet with a Schmidt logo or Schmidt sticker thrown on it. The instructions are very simple. It's basically like, here's the pen, here's the refill, and how you replace the refill. Great. You can see, or maybe you'll know shortly, but this uses the long Schmidt rollerball refill. So that would be like the 8126 as opposed to the P8126. And I've often looked at those and been curious, like, who's using these long refills outside of the Watermans and Mont Blancs of the world? And it turns out Schmidt is actually making one, so pretty funny. So brushed stainless steel barrel, but definitely not machined. This is not a heavy pen. The weight is maybe a little bit more than the Energel alloy. Yeah, just maybe like 5-10 grams more. And the pens are, I'd say, similar lengths, but obviously it doesn't have the diameter of the Energel. So again, brushed stainless steel body, mirrored or chromed finished stainless steel cone piece, stainless clip, and a button mechanism. I believe everything is manufactured by Schmidt. I think that's sort of the point. And there's also a Schmidt logo. Schmidt logo is almost always in 2-color, and they kind of went with the 1-color here, so it's maybe a little bit disappointing, but not a huge deal. And the click mechanism is similar to something you'd see on, a lot of different cheap plastic pens use this. It's where you click in, and then you let go of the refill or the ink cartridge by clicking the clip. It's a strange setup though, because if you click this halfway, no engagement. If you click it 3/4 of the way, no engagement. To get engagement, you have to go all the way to the bottom. And then if you click this, nice action. But it is sort of, it has a dampened feeling to it. And then, so it's not a super sharp, clicky feel. Here's the difference from an Energel alloy. It has a click sound to it and a bit of ringing at the end. This definitely, see, that didn't engage. Push it all the way down. And then you can also pull the ink back or knock it by a long click. Look how far out that's going. So I do not like, just full stop, do not like the click mechanism here. And it's funny because Schmidt sells these. They're a big seller of clickers to machined pen manufacturers. At least I've been led to believe that. But I really don't like how this feels. So very, very odd. Opening it up, you see there's a spring, obviously, no big deal there. And then inside we have that Schmidt Capless system 8126. So that's the 8120 series that we've talked about a number of times, and the 6 is a 0.6 millimeter end. The again, this is the 8126. That is to say it is not a P series. The P is the shorter version. Here's one of my own P8127s, and it's obviously a good deal shorter. 8127 would fit into something like a Retro 51 Tornado. 8126 is something you don't see used that often. The longer ones are used more in the luxury pens, like again the Watermans and the other pens like that. Looking at the ends here, I'm not sure if you can really make it out. This is the 0.7, this is the 0.6. Maybe there's a little bit of difference. Maybe. I think I could kind of just barely see this one being a little bit skinnier. But just keep in mind that if you have been looking for a pen that uses these long refills, then this is one of them, and you won't have to spend what you would spend on a Waterman or a Mont Blanc or something like that. But you know, for $32, it's not at all cheap. I would have liked to seen this pen in honestly maybe the $16 to $18 range would be a lot more reasonable to me. But Schmidt is probably making them in extremely low volumes. One nice thing about it is the button here is free spinning, and it has a very smooth action. So if you're a fidgeter or something, it won't spin on its own, but it will spin freely. So you could spin it, but it won't keep going. And it's very smooth. I don't know why this is just so smooth, but it's quite cool. Obviously with most pens, they just spin a little bit or they don't spin at all. So that is the Schmidt stainless steel capless rollerball. Also sold in aluminum, but I can't really endorse the aluminum because it's, again, like this is $33, say. The aluminum's like 30 or 22 or so, or 30 or 28 or something like that. Quick writing test, but I've done enough writing with the Schmidts that people are probably familiar with them. So this is the eight, 1, 2, 6. And remember, if you're buying refills for this, not P. The P are the ones you want almost all the time because they're shorter and they fit not a lot of pens, but they fit a fair number of pens. The longer versions without the P do not fit a lot of pens. And just for a quick comparison, as I have it here, this is the 8, 1, 2, 7. This one's smeared a little bit just because I had that plastic thing on it. Not a marked difference between the two. It's not a huge difference between the 8127 and the 8126. If you're looking for a big difference, you really want to get the 8120. In that line, again, the 6 is on top. You could see the 7 is slightly larger, but there's just not a huge difference between a 0.6 and a 0.7 millimeter, generally speaking. So I tend to go with the 0.7, but the 0.6 is actually really good. So yeah, that is the Schmidt capless rollerball stainless steel. Don't buy this thing. You know, I really like Schmidt products, but I don't think this is really meant for consumers. I was hoping this thing would have just an awesome clicker and I would feel great about it. Plus it would be a good staging area for the non-P Schmidt refills I've accidentally purchased throughout the years, but I tend to put those in different pen bodies, like a Lamy Swift it'll fit in, so I don't really need that body as much as I thought, and then I don't think this really justifies the spend. There's not a huge amount of steel pens out there that will fit a good rollerball system like the Schmidt. So that is something to keep in mind, but for me, it's not like that's not a a reason to buy it. There are other things out there if you want steel, like Zebra's Steel Series pens, or you can buy a Jotter. But I guess if you need EasyFlow or Schmidt refills and you need stainless steel, then this is one of the few options, but I'm not sold on it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps.